And that President Tinubu must not attend the inauguration.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
I hope somebody is listening.
Yes. So please, Africa has to stand up against this.
If you attend Paul Biya's inauguration, we'll come and we'll condemn you here. Because enough of all of this.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Oba's Trending Gist. Today we are diving deep into a situation that has got the continent buzzing, the recent presidential election in Cameroon and the unrest that has followed. We are going to break down an Arise News segment where top analysts like Ojy Okpe, Rufai Oseni, Dr. Abati and Ayo gave their candid takes. We will explore the background of this contentious election, hear what these powerful voices had to say, and then I'll share my critical perspective. This isn't just news, it is a critical moment for African democracy. Sit back and take a watch.
Well, good morning to you viewers. We're beginning what's trending in Cameroon, where thousands have taken to the streets in protest against the presidential election results that extended President Paul Biya's rule for another 7 years. The Central African Nations Constitutional Council on Monday declared 92-year-old Biya as the winner of the disputed vote with over 53% of the ballots, triggering violent protests in several cities. Let's take a look. I mean, I don't know if Cameroon can survive this, Rufai. Paul Biya is Africa's oldest leader and one of the world's longest-serving rulers. He has been in power for 43 years. At least 4 people have been killed in recent clashes with security forces. International observers have expressed deep concern about the recent violent repression of protests and called on authorities to tackle the excessive use of force. Biya, however, faces a weakened mandate as analysts warn the post-election standoff could intensify, raising concerns about stability in the oil and cocoa-producing nation. We've seen protests like this, especially only recently in Nepal. They are burning buildings, 4 people have died. Can Cameroon survive this, Rufai?
So, about up till 1 a.m. this morning, I was up on Cameroonian TV, Equinox TV. Yeah. And yes, there's been a lot of burnings, but police are already on the street, cracking down on people high-handedly. I mean, I got sent a message from that 15 people, again, just overnight into this morning, passed as a result of this. Very sad. Most of the cities, you know, from Douala to Yaoundé to other parts of the country, everywhere, you know, on tenterhooks, even up to, you know, the northern region, Garoua and all of that.
Unfortunately.
I think there's a process where the parliament actually swears him, so he has actually taken the oath of office to be able to start. But today, Ojy, I'd like to name and shame President Nguema of Gabon that has gone ahead to send a congratulatory message to Biya. You see, as long as we have African leaders that congratulate sham elections like this, Africa will never move forward. But how are you going to even blame Bryce Nguema himself when he came in via a coup himself? So the killings are going on in Cameroon. EU has written extensively about it. All the international bodies have written extensively about it. The truth is, Ojy, people will just get killed and Biya will consolidate. At this point, it is a sorry state for the Cameroonian people. Lots of places have been burnt across the country. But is this how Cameroon will continue? Is this how Ivory Coast will continue? Look at the Ivorian case. Those ones, because they've been suppressed so much and because they've lied to the Ivorians because of the civil war that happened after the former elections, that you must not come out to protest. So they've suppressed people.
No, this is unfortunate.
And that's what is happening in Africa. So we've gone 10 steps forward and 15 steps backward.
Unfortunately. Dr.
Well, the irony of it and the painful part of it is how democracy is in retreat in Africa. From Niger to Chad to Mali to Gabon to Guinea-Conakry to, you know, Cote d'Ivoire, Uganda, and now Cameroon. The unfortunate part of it also is that the same Paul Biya is the oldest head of state in the world. He has been president in Cameroon since 1982. He is not even in the country. He's somewhere in Geneva, Intercontinental Hotel, ensconced there. He came to campaign only once.
Only once,
so
yes.
It is the ordinary people who always suffer when their leaders disappoint them. Yesterday I asked a question, what next for Cameroon?
Yes.
Most of the people in Cameroon, they don't know any other leader. Yes. It's only Biya that they have known their entire lives. Now, whether he likes it or not, when his reign of terror ends, what will happen to Cameroon? What next?
Yeah.
Finally, Chiroma Bakari, the leader of the opposition and the United Front for Change, now the Interior Minister of Cameroon is saying that he may be taken to court and that he will have to face legal consequences because it is he and his accomplices who are causing what he calls an insurrection in Cameroon. So the next thing you are likely to have is not just the suppression, because Nji, Paul Atanga Nji, that's his name, is saying that they have put down the insurrection, but that Bakari Chiroma will have to answer for this because he's the one who has incited the people. At the end of the day, it is the people who always hold the short end of the stick. We have heard from AU, from the UN, and from the EU, all calling for caution. ECOWAS is yet to speak up.
This is what I'm
and I have said that Nigeria must not congratulate Paul Biya, and that President Tinubu must not attend the inauguration.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
I hope somebody is listening.
Yes.
They should listen to
please, Africa has
President
to stand up
Tinubu,
against this.
if you attend Paul Biya's inauguration, we'll come and we'll condemn you here. Because enough of all of this in Africa.
Don't threaten the president
No,
of
if
Nigeria.
he does, we'll condemn him.
Just express your opinion. Don't threaten
against
him.
the coups in
he
the
does,
countries.
they
They took a hard stance. Remember how it was controversial when they said they were going to even launch military, force. If they can speak against coups like that, democratic coups like this must also be hugely condemned by all West African countries.
Yes.
So it's not just for coups through military action. Even democratic coups like this, where lives are lost in the process, ought to be condemned. Until Africa is Africa's solution to Africa's problems. Until African leaders are ready for true democracy and stand up to speak against and even sanction countries like this, we're not going anywhere. So
imagine,
like you rightly said,
if you were to stay in power, guess how old he will be?
100.
99. By the time he's done,
100.
99. Who wants a leader that is 99?
Imagine.
Africans have to speak up. They have to speak against this.
That was a lot. The tension in that room and the gravity of the situation in Cameroon are palpable. Let us really dig deep into what our esteemed panelists shared. First of all, Ojy Okpe set the stage perfectly. She highlighted that thousands have taken to the streets in Cameroon protesting the presidential election results, which controversially extended President Paul Biya's rules for another 7 years. Can you believe it? The Constitutional Council declared 92-year-old Biya Africa's oldest leader and one of the world's longest-serving ruler with 43 years in power as the winner with over 53% of the votes. This has sparked violent protests, tragically leading to at least 4 deaths in clashes with security forces. International observers are deeply concerned about the excessive use of force, and the analysts fear the standoff could destabilize the entire oil and cocoa producing nation. Then, Rufai Oseni didn't hold back. He confirmed the widespread burning and the high-handed police crackdown, even mentioning reports of 15 people killed overnight across major cities like Douala, Yaoundé, and Garao. Rufai took a strong stance, naming and shaming President Oguelema of Gabon for sending a congratulatory message to Biya. He argued that African leaders who congratulate what he called sham elections are actively hindering the continent's progress. His point is clear. People will die and leaders like Biya will consolidate power, leaving Cameroon in a sorry state. He ended with a powerful call for African leaders not to attend Biya's inauguration, and if they do, he would condemn them right there on air. Talk about fairy tale. Dr. Abati then added layers of historical and political context. He spoke about the painful retreat of democracy across Africa, citing multiple countries where democratic processes have faltered, from Niger to Mali, Gabon, and now Cameroon. He echoed the staggering fact that Paul Biya has been president since 1982. That is 43 years. And get this, He is rarely even in country, preferring hotels in Geneva, and campaigned only once for his election. Dr. Abati emphasized that it is always the ordinary citizens who suffer from these leadership failures. He raised the profound question of what next for Cameroon, when the majority of its citizens have known no other leader. He also highlighted that the interior minister is already threatening the opposition leader, Bakari, with legal action for insurrection, signaling further repression. Like Rufai, he urged African leaders, especially Nigerian President Tinubu, not to legitimize Biya's win. Finally, Ayo brilliantly tied it all together, reinforcing the call for continental solidarity. She agreed that if African leaders can take a hard stance against military coups, they must equally condemn these democratic coups, where lives are just lost. Her central message resonates deeply. Africa is Africa's solution to Africa's problem. She passionately argued that until African leaders are ready to true democracy and are willing to stand up, speak out, and even sanction those who undermines it, we are simply not going anywhere. She finished by noting that if Biya completes this term, he will be 99 years old, making the point that such extended undemocratic rule is simply unsustainable and unacceptable. Now, from my own perspective, what we are seeing in Cameroon is not just a local crisis. It is a stark reminder of the fragile state of democracy in many parts of Africa. For a leader to be in power for over 4 decades, barely present in his own country, and then to win an election with over 50% amidst widespread protest and violence raises serious questions about the integrity of the process and the will of the people. The call from Rufai, Dr. Abati, and Ayo for African leaders to take a firm, unified stance are absolutely crucial. This isn't just about condemning military coups. It's about upholding democratic principles across the board, whether the threat comes from a soldier with a gun or a civilian leader manipulating electoral systems. When leaders congratulate sham elections, they not only legitimize illegitimate rule, but also set a dangerous precedent for others seeking to cling to power. This perpetuates a cycle of disillusionment, instability, and violence that ultimately harms the very people these leaders are supposed to serve. It is time for African institutions like ECOWAS and the AU to move beyond rhetoric and implement tangible sanctions against leaders who subvert democracy, regardless of how long they've been in power or their age. The people of Cameroon, like citizens across the continent, deserves free, fair, and credible elections and leaders who are truly accountable to them, not their own desire for eternal rule. Otherwise, the question of what next for Cameroon will continue to hang heavy, signaling a future of continued unrest and unfulfilled potentials. That's my take. What are your thoughts on the situation in Cameroon? Do you agree with the panelists? Do you think African leaders should take a stronger stance? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Obas Trending Gist for more in-depth analysis, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next discussion. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep the gist going. Peace out.